Tonight's 8 players are preparing for the show where just one of them will be taking home the prize money of up to £20,000. The rest will leave with nothing, as their teammates vote them the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 8 people in the studio here tonight could win up to £20,000. They don't know each other, however. If they want the prize money, they'll have to work as a team. But 7 of them will leave with nothing, as round by round we lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm Nikki, I'm 38, I run my own secretarial business and I'm from Berwick-upon-Tweed in Northumberland.
I'm Ed, I'm 39 and I'm an Environment Protection Officer from Bodmin in Cornwall.
I'm Jill, I'm a 36-year-old computing analyst from Dawlish in Devon.
I'm Andy, a 25-year-old science teacher from Liverpool.
I'm Tracy, I'm 33, I'm a caterer and I'm from Chesterfield.
I'm Jay, I'm 29, I'm a soldier from Oxfordshire.
I'm Kedra, I'm 21 years old and I'm a student of experimental psychology from Ashford in Kent.
I'm Max, I'm 30 years old, I'm a restaurant manager from Wetherby in West Yorkshire.
Now the rules in each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £2,500 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 8 correct answers. Get your question wrong and you break the chain and lose all the money in that chain. But if you say bank before the question is asked, the money is safe. However, you start a new chain from scratch. Remember, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be carried forward. In round 1, there are 2.5 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first, alphabetically. That's you, Andy. Let's play the weakest link. The first question is for £50. Start the clock. Andy, what object did Jack jump over in the Old English rhyme, Jack be nimble?
Pass.
A candlestick. Tracy, in travel, in which European country would you be arriving if you flew into Gatwick Airport?
London.
England. I have to accept your first answer. Jay, in TV, which Australian soap opera is set in Ramsay Street?
Neighbours.
Correct. Kedra, in sport, what is the name of the athletics event in which a solid metal ball is thrown from the shoulder as far as possible?
Shot put.
Correct. Max, according to the saying, you wouldn't touch something unpleasant with what kind of pole?
A long one.
Barge pole. Nikki, in dance, what sex is a ballerina?
Female.
Correct. Ed, complete the title of the 1976 Thin Lizzy UK hit single, The Boys Are Back in what?
Town.
Correct. Jill.
Bank.
What type of food is double Gloucester?
Cheese.
Correct. Andy, a term for someone who watches a lot of television is a couch what?
Potato.
Correct. Tracy, in politics, what colour is associated with the Liberal Democrats?
Yellow.
Correct. Jay.
Bank.
Which television presenter had a BBC 2 series about his weird weekends?
Louis Theroux.
Correct. Kedra. In children's TV, Valerie Singleton and John Noakes were both presenters of which long-running programme?
Blue Peter.
Correct. Max, complete the title of the 1987 film starring Cher and Jack Nicholson, The Witches of Where?
Eastwick.
Correct. Nikki, in snooker, in which shape are the 15 red balls placed for the start of a frame?
Triangle.
Correct. Ed. What M refers to a pole that supports the sails on a ship?
Mast.
Correct. Jill.
Bank.
What is the international dialing code for Russia, 007 or 001?
007.
Correct. Andy. In which classic children's novel published in 1908 do a mole and a water rat become friends?
Pass.
The Wind in the Willows. Tracy, complete the title of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's 1902 bestseller, The Hound of the What?
Baskervilles.
Correct. Jay. In food, in which English city did the Chelsea bun originate?
London.
Correct. Kedra. In geography, Morocco is situated in the north of which continent?
Africa.
Correct. Max. What is the name given to an anchored float that serves as a guide or warning to ships?
Buoy.
Correct. Nikki, in
Bank.
science, which colour comes between red and yellow in the rainbow?
Orange.
Correct. Ed, in nature, what bee is the onion-shaped base of a daffodil?
Bulb.
Correct, Jill.
Bang.
By road, which city is closer to Edinburgh, Birmingham or Sheffield?
Sheffield.
Correct, Andy. In the military, what is the abbreviation for someone who is absent without official leave?
A1.
Correct, Tracy.
Bang.
In food, Kos, Little German, Remain are all types of what?
Lettuce.
That is the correct answer, but you were out of time. And in that first round, you banked £2,000 of a possible £2,500. Who already sticks out as pretty unsuitable? Whose tank is perhaps far from full? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
The statistics show that Jill is the strongest link. The weakest link is Andy. But at this early stage of the game, how will the players decide on who to vote off first?
OK, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Andy.
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 Tracy.
Andy.
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 Something amusing you, Max?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment.
What do you do?
I'm a restaurant manager.
Are you? And your hobbies are dining out and understanding fine wines, are they?
Sometimes, yes.
Why did you vote for Andy?
I know I got one question wrong, but I think Andy got 2 questions wrong, and it was a tight call.
Tracy, what do you do?
I'm a caterer, Anne.
Are you? What sort of catering?
For builders on a building site, and I
Right.
also do private functions of my own.
Do you? So you deliver the food, do you?
No, I actually prepare it on the premises.
Do you? So you have to go to the premises, do you?
Yeah.
Right. So it'll be handy if you know the difference between a European country and a city, would it?
I suppose it would, Anne, yeah.
Why did you vote for Andy?
You got 2 questions wrong, and I also hesitated.
Jay, what do you do?
I'm a soldier, Anne.
Are you? What sort of soldier?
I'm an electronics technician.
Are you? And what rank are you?
Sergeant.
Sergeant Jay, how's it going for you?
Yeah, not bad, thank you.
Really? And Sergeant Jay, is Andy not up to scratch?
2 questions wrong, Anne. I'm afraid he's going to get his marching orders.
He is, indeed. Andy, what do you do?
I'm a teacher, Anne.
Are you?
Yep.
You sure about that?
Maybe we should learn a bit more, go and buy a nursery book, sit in a corner and cry.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Hearing that I was being voted again and again and again, not a surprise. I mean, if anyone hadn't voted for me, I thought there'd be something wrong with them. I am going to get ripped from probably now till the year 2010 by everybody in school.
Round 2, you've won £2,000 so far out of a possible £2,500. There are 7 of you left. We are now taking 10 seconds off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's you, Jill. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jill, in the Bible, who killed Abel?
Cain.
Correct. Tracy, in TV, complete the title of this BBC comedy sketch show, not the 9 o'clock what?
News.
Correct. Jay, in geography, in which continent is Denmark?
Europe.
Correct. Kedra, which British women's organisation with local branches has the initials WI?
Women's Institute.
Correct. Max,
Bang.
by what name is the headquarters in London of the Metropolitan Police known?
Scotland Yard.
New Scotland Yard, I'll accept Scotland Yard. Nikki, in the animal kingdom, what H is the large wasp that can inflict a severe sting?
Hornet.
Correct, Ed. In children's literature, the author Laura Ingalls Wilder wrote The Little House on the what?
Prairie.
Correct. Jill, in sport, what is the name of Serena Williams' tennis-playing sister?
Venus.
Correct. Tracy,
Bang.
in British politics, Kenneth Clarke is associated with which party?
Labour.
Conservative. Jay, for how long was the Eiffel Tower in Paris originally designed to stand? 20 years or 60 years?
60 years.
20 years. Kedra, the comic strip character Fred Bassett was based on what breed of dog?
Hound dog.
A Basset hound. No, you said hound. I'll have to accept that. Max, what type of transport across the Mersey features in a song by Jerry and the Pacemakers?
Ferry.
Correct. Nikki, what sort of man-made structure on the border of Nevada and Arizona was named after President Herbert Hoover?
A dam.
Correct, Ed. In the animal kingdom, what term is used for a person who specialises in the study of birds?
Ornithologist.
Correct, Jill. In
Thanks.
food, what is the main ingredient of compote, fruit or vegetables?
Fruit.
Correct, Tracy. Which scientist published his theory of evolution in 1859?
Einstein.
Darwin. Jay, in TV, what is the name of Denise's baby in the royal family?
Brooklyn.
David. Kedra, in politics, apartheid refers to the racial segregation policy of which country?
South Africa.
Correct. Max, in pop music, which tartan-clad band had a UK #1 hit single with Bye Bye Baby in 1975?
Bay City Rollers.
Correct. Nikki, in travel, which European country has a high-speed rail system called the TGV?
France.
Correct. Ed, in
Bank.
cookery, what sea is another name for squid?
Calamari.
Correct. Jill, in sport, which country did Carl Lewis represent in track and field?
United States of
Correct.
America.
Tracy,
Bank.
what tea is a modern ballroom dance of Argentinian origin?
Tango.
Correct. Jay, ex-EastEnders star Martine McCutcheon is starring as Eliza Doolittle in the 2000s. Time is up. I cannot complete the question. In that round, team, you banked £1,500. Who is beyond help? Whose knowledge is more suited to watching television? Let me remind you, there is no space on the team for those without talent or speed of thought. Eject the idiot. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Jill is the strongest link for the second time. The statistics show that Jay is the weakest link. But who will lose out in the vote?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Tracy.
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 Jay.
Tracy.
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 Nikki, you enjoying yourself?
Yes, thank you, Anne.
You run your own business.
I do.
Would you take on Tracy?
Possibly.
Why have you voted her off then?
Because her general knowledge unfortunately let her down on that round.
Sergeant J. Be advisable if you steered clear of Posh Spice. She wouldn't like her baby being confused with the one from the royal family.
Well, he's named after David Beckham. That's where I got it wrong.
It's not good enough, is it?
No.
Why Tracy?
She was equally as bad as me in that round.
Statistically, you were the worst player. But Tracy, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I came here, as everybody else did, with the intentions to win. I wanted to go in with that check. Jay should be standing here. He's the worst player. He got questions wrong in the first round. He's got questions wrong in this round. Jay'll be out next.
Round 3, and so far you have £3,500 in the kitty out of a possible 5,000. You're down to 6 players. We're taking another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jill. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jill, in the animal kingdom, what animal is a flying fox?
Bat.
I'll accept. It's a fruit bat. Jay, in music, complete the title of Edward Elgar's March, Pomp and what?
Circumstance.
Correct. Kedra, in art, what name is given to the colours from which all others can be obtained?
Primary colours.
Correct. Max, the international television channel cable news network is more commonly referred to as what?
CNN.
Correct. Nikki, in science,
Bank.
which country put the first animal, man and woman into space?
Russia.
Correct. The Soviet Union. Ed, at which weight do boxers Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson compete?
Heavyweight.
Correct. Jill,
Bank.
in which British county would you find the towns of Falmouth and Newquay?
Cornwall.
Correct. Jay, in pop music, Jim Kerr is the lead singer with which Scottish band?
Simple Minds.
Correct. Kedra, in TV, who played Queen Elizabeth in the comedy series Blackadder II?
Pass.
Miranda Richardson. Max, which strongman cartoon comic character eats cow pies with the horns left in?
Desperate Dan.
Correct. Nikki, what W is the Australian term for a solitary nomadic trip into the bush?
Walkabout.
Correct. Ed, in science, which is the higher part of the atmosphere, the exosphere or the stratosphere?
Exosphere.
Correct. Jill, in
Bank.
which American state would you find Nashville?
Tennessee.
Correct. Jay, what O can be Shakespeare's Moor of Venice and a board game involving black and white counters?
Othello.
Correct. Kedra, American rock group Survivor had a UK #1 single in 1982 with which song from the film Rocky III?
Eye of the Tiger.
Correct. Max, in the TV comedy The Good Life, Felicity Kendall played which character?
Pass.
Barbara. Nikki, in travel, Acapulco and La Paz are major ports in which North American country?
Mexico.
Correct. Ed, in film, Richard Gere starred opposite which actress in the 1999 romantic comedy Runaway Bride?
Julia Roberts.
Correct. Jill, in
Bank.
nature, what is the name of the icicle-like spikes of calcium carbonate found on the roofs of caves?
Stalactites.
Stalactites, correct. Jay, who was US
Bank.
president between 1981 and 1989?
George Bush.
Ronald Reagan. Kedra. Time is up. You only answered 3 questions incorrectly, but you banked a very disappointing £950. Which one of you would not be missed? Whose donut has run out of jam? Sack the culprit. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Jill is the strongest link for the 3rd time in a row. Statistically, Max is the weakest link. But will the voting follow the facts?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Max.
Jay.
Max.
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 Jay.
Jill,
Yes, Anne.
are you usually such a show-off?
No.
You haven't got a single question wrong since you started.
Well, I know the answers to the questions you've asked me.
Why Max?
You got flustered over the question you got wrong.
It doesn't really matter whether he got flustered or not, does it? He got the question wrong. Kedra, what do you do?
I'm a student.
Are you? What are you studying?
Experimental psychology.
Right, what does that mean?
I study the brain and how it works and disorders of the brain.
Right, and you think Max would be quite an interesting subject for you?
I couldn't possibly comment, Anne.
Oh, pity. Max, who knows so much about wine and really very little else.
I drink a lot of it.
Well, you can go and drown your sorrows now. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'd love to have won Biggest Link, you know, only for the money, but also for the bragging rights, so to speak. But I think it was very fair me being voted off in that round. I think I was obvious I was the weakest link. I got my question wrong and I hesitated too long and I lost loads of money.
Round 4, so far you've banked £4,450 out of potential prize money of £7,500. There are 5 of you left. You've got rid of the science teacher, the caterer, and Max, who thinks he knows about wines, but the good news is you've still got Sergeant J, who's never heard of Ronald Reagan, who ran the United States for 8 years. We are taking another 10 seconds off the clock. You now have just 2 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Jill. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Jill, complete the title of this play by Tennessee Williams, The Glass what?
Pass.
Menagerie. Jay, what is 2/5 expressed as a percentage?
20%.
40%. Kedra, in film, which famous American actor had a last tango in Paris with Maria Schneider in 1972?
Kirk Douglas.
Marlon Brando. Nikki, in music, what H is a keyboard instrument resembling a piano and which has strings that are plucked mechanically?
Harpsichord.
Correct. Ed, in medicine, which of the 5 senses is a cochlear implant used to stimulate?
Hearing.
Correct. Jill, in history, Anschluss was the union between Germany and which other country in 1938?
Poland.
Austria.
Bank.
J, in science, what is the chemical name for table salt?
Potassium chloride.
Sodium chloride. Kedra, in nature, what S is the name given to eggs of aquatic animals such as frogs when they are expelled in a mass?
Spawn.
Correct. Nikki, in money, the price at which one currency is bought or sold in terms of other currencies is known as the what?
Pass.
Exchange rate. Ed, in comic strips, Peter Parker is the alter ego of which superhero?
Spider-Man.
Correct. Jill.
Bank.
On the London Underground, the Central Line is represented by which colour?
Orange.
Red. J, who wrote the 1904 play Peter Pan, J.M. Barrie or E.M. Forster?
E.M. Forster.
J.M. Barrie. Kedra, who played the role of Dr. Ian Malcolm in the Jurassic Park films?
Jeff Goldblum.
Correct. Nikki, which Motown singer was born Stevland Morris?
Pass.
Stevie Wonder. Ed, in literature, which English author wrote the novel Sense and Sensibility?
Jane Austen.
Correct. Jill.
Bank.
What E is the duty levied on certain goods within a country?
Excise.
Correct. J.
Bank.
In literature, the novel Agnes Grey was the first by which of the Bronte sisters?
Charlotte.
Anne. Kedra, in music, with which song from the musical Aspects of Love did Michael Ball have a 1989 UK hit?
Love changes everything.
Correct. Nikki,
Bank.
in human biology, when an ovum is released from an ovary, what is the process called?
Ovulation.
Correct. Ed.
Bank.
In fashion, what is the name given to a pair of knee-length trousers? Time is up. I cannot complete the question, and in that round you scraped together only £250. Who is cramping your style? It's time to vote off. It's the weakest link.
Ed was the only player to answer all of his questions correctly, making him the strongest link. Jay is the weakest link for a second time, according to the statistics. But can he survive another vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jay.
Jill.
Jay.
Jill.
Jay.
Jill, no one could accuse you of showing off in that last round, could they?
No, it was awful.
You just got the one question right.
Yes.
Why did you fall to pieces?
Don't know, it was not my type of question.
Why Jay?
He got all of his questions wrong.
Just one more than you.
Yeah, but he got them all wrong.
Kedra.
Hello, Anne.
Is Jay another subject for your studies?
I think I'm racking them up today, Anne.
Jay, didn't answer a single question correctly. Why did you come on the show?
To try and win some money, Anne. And to meet you, of course.
Right. Well, you've only achieved one ambition, haven't you? Sergeant Joe, time for your marching orders. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I wasn't surprised to be voted off in that round because I didn't get a single question right and I made a bit of a fool of myself. I think Kedra has voted quite ruthlessly. I think she's come on to win and no one's going to stand in her way.
Round 5, you have in the bank £4,700. If you'd hit your targets, it would be 10,000. There are 4 of you left, another 10 seconds coming off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Ed. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ed, which novelist wrote the science fiction books The Shape of Things to Come and The Time Machine?
H.G. Wells.
Correct, Jill. Which British rock band is associated with the 1982 film The Wall?
Pink Floyd.
Correct, Kedra. In food, what R is a cooked mixture of fat and flour used as a basis for sauces?
No idea, sorry.
Rue. Nikki, in the Bible, who was the first king of Israel?
Solomon.
Saul. Ed, in human biology, what I is found in haemoglobin and has the chemical symbol Fe?
Iron.
Correct, Jill. In geography, in which county in the UK is the city of Durham?
Northumberland.
Durham. Kedra, in TV, Catherine Janeway is the captain of which Star Trek ship?
Starship Enterprise.
Voyager. Nikki, in the US, the Golden Gate Bridge connects Marin County on the north side with which city on the south?
San Francisco.
Correct, Ed.
Bank.
In sport, in which country would you find the Formula One racetrack at Suzuka?
Japan.
Correct, Jill. In the animal kingdom, what term is used to describe animals who walk upright on 2 legs?
Mammals.
Bipeds. Kedra, in music, Happy Talk was the 1982 UK #1 hit single for Captain Who?
Sensible.
Correct, Nikki. In which
Bank.
city is the European Union's Council of Ministers based?
The Hague.
Brussels. Ed, according to mythology, which Roman god of beginnings has 2 faces?
Pass.
Janus. Jill, which actor starred as Dustin Hoffman's brother in the 1988 film Rain Man?
Tom Cruise.
Correct, Kedra. In which century was the mathematician and physicist Isaac Newton born?
18th.
17th. Nikki, in biology, vitamin B1 is also known as what T?
Thymine.
Thiamine. Ed, in history, which Russian leader's name meant man of steel?
Lenin.
Stalin. Jill, in the animal kingdom, what D is a one-hump camel?
Dromedary.
Correct, Kedra, in medieval history. Time is up. And having got rid of 4 apparently weaker links, you managed to bank in that round just £100. Who's outstayed their welcome? Who is no help in raising that bank balance? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Once again, Ed is the strongest link according to the statistics. The weakest link is Kedra, but will the other players have picked up on this?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Kedra.
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 Jill.
Ed,
Anne.
how's it going for you?
Not so good.
What do you do?
I'm an environment protection officer.
You haven't answered a single question incorrectly until this round.
No, I kind of hoped that you'd leave me alone if I got them all right.
What's wrong with Kedra?
Nothing at all. It's a very nice
Well,
girl,
you
but,
voted her off, so don't let's waste time. What's wrong with Kedra?
She had a couple of dodgy questions and she didn't bank the last money in time.
Nikki, why Kedra?
None of us did extremely well in that round, but Kedra sticks in my mind as getting
Doing
questions
less
wrong.
extremely well.
Indeed.
Kedra, what happened in that round? Was it what part of the brain stopped working? Was it the memory?
I think so. I don't know what happened. I'm ever so sorry, team.
With 3 votes, you are the weakest link.
Playing the game in the studio is a lot harder than playing it at home. At home, I shout out the questions and get really annoyed with people who can't answer questions on TV. When you're actually standing up there and you've got the questions asked to you and you know the answer, but you just can't say it, you feel so stupid. You really do. Anne kept glaring at me. I'm not quite sure why. I started to feel really isolated when the 2 guys next to me went. And then when it came to the 3 against me and I had a really bad round, I just felt really alone up there.
Round 6, and you have £4,800 in the kitty. There are 3 of you left, another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Ed. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ed, in geography, what T is a kingdom in Southeast Asia?
Thailand.
Correct. Jill, in motor racing, which Canadian driver won the Formula 1 World Championship in 1997?
Jacques Villeneuve.
Correct. Nikki,
Bank.
in which English county would you find Stoke-on-Trent?
Staffordshire.
Correct. Ed, in football, which West Midlands club is nicknamed the Sky Blues?
Coventry.
Coventry City. I'll accept Coventry. Jill, what was
Bank.
the name of Stephen King's first published novel, which was made into a film released in 1976?
Salem's Lot.
Carrie. Nikki, in geography, what is the longest river in Italy?
Pass.
The River Po. Ed, in pop music, which Irish band's 1981 debut UK chart single was Fire?
U2.
Correct. Jill, in biology, septicemia is the poisoning of which fluid found in the body?
Blood.
Correct. Nikki,
Bank.
in history, the Wars of the Roses took place in which century?
15th.
Correct. Ed, in literature, which author wrote the Discworld series that started in 1983 with The Colour of Magic?
Pass.
Terry Pratchett. Jill, the holiday resort of Slima is on which Mediterranean island?
Crete.
Malta. Nikki, what is the name of the river in northern England which rises in the Pennines and flows to Middlesbrough to join the North Sea?
The Weir.
The Tees. Ed, in history, which city was the planned destination of Titanic when she sank in 1912?
New York.
Correct. Jill, which
Bank.
port in Egypt shares its name with the canal by which it is situated?
Suez.
Correct. Nikki, of which Apollo mission was Neil Armstrong a member when he became the first man to walk on the moon in 1969?
11.
Correct. Ed, in history, what sea is the name of the peninsula in which the charge of the Light Brigade took place?
Crimean.
Correct. Jill, what
Bank.
was the surname of the aristocrat? Time is up. You won £500. Now, in round 7, you get the chance to double what you bank, and that means in the next round, potentially, there's £5,000 to be won. The question is, whose day is done? Whose skill has gone down the drain? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Ed is the strongest link for the 3rd time in a row. The weakest link statistically is Nikki. But at this crucial stage of the game, who will lose out in the final vote?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jill.
Nikki.
Ed.
This is interesting. We have a 3-way tie. Jill, Ed and Nikki. A vote each. Nikki, why Jill?
She got a couple of questions wrong, as did I, but there was a fair bit of hesitation.
Jill, that's an interesting choice. Why have you voted for Ed?
Both Nikki and Ed have been consistently good throughout the whole of the rounds, and it's very difficult to choose between them.
Of course. Jill from Dawlish, if you'd thought that the strongest link was going to make a deciding vote, you might have thought again, hadn't you? Because when the vote is tied, that's what the strongest link has to do. Now, Ed Would you like to get rid of Nikki, who you voted for, or Jill, who's voted for you?
Thinks. Well, on balance of probabilities, I think I'll change my vote to Jill.
Why is that, Ed?
I just used this computer in my mind and analysed it and thought that'd be the best way to go.
Okay.
And she voted for me.
Well, I don't know how you'd analyse this, Jill, but Ed's computer says he's had enough of you. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I was very angry when Ed changed his mind. He originally voted for Nikki and he should have stuck with Nikki. I'm absolutely gutted to be voted off. Overall, I think I was stronger than both Nikki and Ed. And Ed obviously got rid of me because he thought I was a threat.
Round 7, and there's £5,300 in the kitty out of a possible 15,000. Nikki and Ed, just the two of you left, and this time you have only 90 seconds. But whatever you win in this round will be doubled and added to your total to make up your final prize money. So £5,000 is at stake in this round. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, that's Ed. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Ed, in TV, Virgil Tracy piloted what number Thunderbird vehicle?
Number 2.
Correct. Nikki, in the animal kingdom, cheetahs are native to which continent?
Africa.
Correct. Ed, which bridge in northern England opened officially in 1981 and became the longest single-span bridge in the world at that time?
Humber Bridge.
Correct. Nikki, in food and drink, what flavour is the liqueur triple sec?
Aniseed.
Orange. Ed, in cricket, with which discipline is Curtly Ambrose most commonly associated?
Batting.
Bowling. Nikki, in Greek mythology, what S was a creature with the head and breasts of a woman, the body of a lion and the wings of a bird?
Pass.
Sphinx. Ed, which English actor provided the voice for the evil lion Scar in the 1994 animated film The Lion King?
Pass.
Jeremy Irons. Nikki, in football, which London club won the European Cup Winners' Cup in 1998?
Chelsea.
Correct. Ed, complete the title of the George Bernard Shaw play Arms and the what?
Man.
Correct. Nikki,
Bang.
in the TV comedy series Are You Being Served, which actress played Mrs. Betty Slocum?
Pass.
Molly Sugden. Ed, in the Bible, who healed the blind man Bartimaeus?
Jesus.
Correct. Nikki, in
Bang.
US geography, which is the second largest city in the state of Texas?
Austin.
Dallas. Ed, in which century did John Milton write Paradise Lost?
16th.
17th century. Nikki, in football, which West Midlands-based club plays its home games at Molineux Stadium?
Coventry.
Wolverhampton. Ed, in music, which Hebrew word meaning praise the Lord is repeated many times at the climax of Handel's Messiah?
Amen.
Hallelujah. Nikki, in human biology, what area is the area of the skull around the eyeball?
Orbit.
Correct. Ed,
Bang.
in literature, complete the title of this 1948... Time's up. You didn't make it to £2,500. You won only £350. We'll double that and add it to the winnings from the previous rounds. That means total prize money this evening of £6,000. But of course, only one of you can take that money away. So now you will be playing against each other head to head. I'll ask alternate questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death until we have a winner. So, Nikki and Ed, for £6,000, let's play the weakest link. Ed, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'd like Nikki to go first, please.
Nikki. In geography, Montevideo is the capital and chief port of which South American country?
Uruguay.
That is the correct answer. Ed. In music, the guitarist James Patrick Page was a member of which rock band?
Led Zeppelin.
That is the correct answer. Nikki. In religion, by what name is Mardi Gras known in the English Christian calendar?
Easter.
The correct answer is Shrove Tuesday. Ed. Under a sprig of which parasitic plant did enemies have to call a truce in pagan winter rituals?
Mistletoe?
That is the correct answer. Nikki. In the Hans Christian Andersen story, what colour were the shoes that wouldn't stop dancing?
Red.
That is the correct answer. Ed. In music, the bossa nova is a dance originating from which country?
Cuba?
No, Brazil. At this stage, you're level pegging. Nikki. In government, the holder of which cabinet post traditionally has use of Dorney Wood, a 45-room mansion in Buckinghamshire?
Chancellor of the Exchequer.
That is the correct answer. Ed. In literature, what is the first name of the main character and narrator in Alex Garland's novel, The Beach?
Sorry, I don't know.
The answer is Richard. Nikki, if you answer this question correctly, then you have won. So, Nikki, for £6,000. In the animal kingdom, the term ungulate refers to mammals with which particular bodily feature?
Horns.
No, the answer is hooves. Ed, you need to answer this question correctly to remain in the game. In history, what was the name of the Prussian king who abdicated at the end of World War I?
Wilhelm?
That is the correct answer. After 5 questions, we have a tie, so now we go into a sudden death situation. The questions will continue in pairs. Nikki, if you answer your question correctly, then Ed will have to answer his correctly, or he loses. And Nikki, if you get your question wrong, then Ed will have to answer his correctly to win. So, Nikki and Ed, let's play sudden death. Nikki. In art, Dante's Divine Comedy was the inspiration for which famous Rodin statue of 2 lovers embracing?
The Kiss.
That is the correct answer. Ed. Which former BBC 9 o'clock news presenter is a regular host of Radio 4's Today programme?
John Humphreys?
That is the correct answer. Nikki. By which of her first names was the wife of President Franklin D. Roosevelt more commonly known?
Eleanor?
That is the correct answer. Ed. From what was Captain Ahab's artificial leg made in Herman Melville's 1851 novel, Moby Dick?
Whale ivory?
That is the correct answer. Nikki. In mythology, the chariot of the Roman god Bacchus was pulled by what type of animal when he entered Thebes?
Horses.
Correct answer is elephant. Ed, which famous Irish actor played an aggressive rugby league player in the 1963 film This Sporting Life?
Is it Richard Harris?
That is the correct answer. That means, Ed, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £6,000. Nikki, you leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
I was thrilled to get as far as I did. And when we got to the last three, I was convinced I was going to be voted off one way or the other.
I came along for the experience. It's a good laugh, a good day out, and obviously if you do win, that's an added bonus.
So well, one or two questions I knew the answers to perfectly well, and the brain said one thing and the mouth said another.
I've really enjoyed the day and I've come away with the prize money as well, and it's a wonderful feeling.